Hi students, so this is the second part of chapter 3, which is on factors influencing consumer buying decision. Let me put myself there. Okay, so there are actually 4 factors. The first one is cultural factors, social, personal, and psychological. So then you have the buyer here. Now, the cultural is actually the one that is the outer part of everything that influence consumer to buy things or to purchase the services. So cultural factors includes the element of culture, subculture, and also social class. Second, in the social factor, the elements of reference group, family, roles, and also status. In the personal factor, there are elements of age and also life cycle stage, occupation, economic situation, lifestyle, and lastly, personality and self-concept. And lastly, in the psychological factors, there are 4 elements: motivation, perceptions, learning, and also beliefs and attitudes. So let's look at what is actually the first factor here, and I'll explain to you one by one. Okay, let me put myself this side. Factors that first influence the buying decision of a customer is the cultural factor. And under cultural itself, we have the first element of culture. Do you know what is a culture? Culture is the learned values, perceptions, wants, and also behavior from family and other important institutions. So culture actually shapes you, and also it is passed from one generation to another generation. Okay, such as your customs. Okay, customs, your norms. Okay, those are the culture or the culture elements. Okay, like some values. All right, like when you want to eat, you need to eat using your right hands. All right, and then when you there is also the norms whereby when you come to people's house, you take off your shoes. There is a culture in Malaysia, right? But it is different in other places. Okay, like when you want to say hi, you don't shake hands anymore now lah, right? Because of the SOP and also the social physical distancing. So what is acceptable is actually, other than shaking hands, you just put your hands on your chest and then you say hi. Okay, like in Japan, for example, they just will bow down, right? Okay, next is the subculture. So subculture are actually groups of people within a culture with shared value systems based on their common life experiences and situation. It can also be defined by the music, economy, fashion, leisure, and also activities that people normally do in that particular culture. So it is actually a smaller part of the culture, which it comes perhaps from some combination of other culture to become a minority, or what they call the subculture. Okay, like you have the Hispanic, the African Americans, Asian Americans, the major consumers, right? Or you can also have, based on economy and also fashion or even music, all right? You have the subculture of people who are the rock stars, rockers, you call it. Okay, the hipsters, the you don't call the homeless as a subculture lah. Hipsters are normally what they call is also the hippies. All right, those are actually the subcultures, right? And in Malaysia, you can also see a subculture of Indian Muslim, all right, or Baba and Nyonya in Melaka, all right. So they have from the bigger culture like the Chinese culture, okay, or the Malay culture, Indian culture, right? So basically, those are also related to the culture itself, and they come out with a subculture of themselves. Next is the social class. Again, this is still in the culture factor, whereby you have element of social classes, which these are the societies relatively permanent and ordered divisions whose members share similar values, interests, and also behavior. Basically, the social classes are, as you know, you have the upper class, middle class, and also lower class, right? They are measured by the combination of occupation, income, education, wealth, and also other variables. All right. So of course you can see that if you are in the upper class, things that you buy will be different compared to the people in the lower class, right? And also some in the middle class. So here is an example of major American social classes. Okay, so you will see that in terms of their income going up. All right, the more income that they have, the more wealth that they have lah. They call the upper class. All right, a better education, better occupation. All right, so there as it goes higher, then it become the upper class. Okay, at the lower class here, those are working poor. Okay, although their living standard is just above poverty, but they strive toward a higher class. However, they often lack of education and also poorly paid for some unskilled work. So things that they will buy are normally things for their survival. Yeah, for typically those people in the lower class, they want to buy things basic necessities, things for them to survive in the world. All right. Then you have the working class, middle class, and also upper class. Upper class, this is people who actually live on inherited wealth. Okay, they give large sums of charity, they own more than one home, all right, and they send their children to the finance and also private schools typically. All right, so the upper class people, when they buy things, it is not for their survival. Yeah, they buy things that are luxurious. Okay, like I don't want to buy food, just any rice. I want the most expensive rice, for example. I don't want to drink just coffee or a normal coffee. I want the finest best coffee bean that is freshly brewed. All right, so those are differences that you can see, that if you are in this particular upper class, you will buy things that are different compared to the people in the lower classes. And in Malaysia, okay, it can be also seen by this Malaysian household group, which I managed to get this information, but this is only a survey report in 2019 lah, all right? So there are, as you know, B40, M40, and also T20, all right? The classification B40 is actually at the bottom, but I do not know why this particular figure shows, infographic is supposed to be B40 at bottom lah, because they are the bottom 40, middle 40, and top 20 class, yeah. So in each B40, M40, and so T20, they also have subcategories of the social class, okay, or the middle, the household group, right? And you can see that in terms of their income, yeah, okay, you'll be able to see that if you are in this particular less than 2,500 income range per month, okay, things that you are buying, of course, typically those are the necessities, okay? But if you are on the top 20, okay, with income more than 15,000 per month, all right, the things that you will buy also could be different, right? Just like the upper class in the American society, all right? So that is about social class. Even though social class, it is called social class, but it is under cultural element, yeah, cultural factor. Okay, don't get confused. Next, we move on to the social. Okay, the social factor, which the first one is the membership group. Okay, the groups. So you have three types of groups available here, right? It is membership groups, the aspirational groups, and also the reference group. The social shape you on what are things that you might prefer to buy, that influence you to buy things or don't buy things. First, membership group. If you are part of that particular group, because you are a member, the groups with direct influence and to which a person belongs to. Okay, so you are the member of that particular group. For example, it could be a UITM group. Okay, UITM group, things that you buy when you want to go to UITM, you must have necktie for guys, right? Not on Monday you must wear necktie. Okay, and then for the girls, for example, you must wear baju kurung on Monday. So it shapes you that you will remember that, oh, I need baju kurung that I can wear to class. Okay, but if you are a Swinburne University student, for example, you may not want to buy those things. You may not think of buying at all, because you know when you go to class, you can wear anything. Okay, any casual but decent attire. All right, so that shapes you, that tell you, that influence you to buy what. All right, if you are the member of that particular group. Another one is the aspirational group. Okay, Aspirational groups are the groups an individual wishes to belong to, but you are not actually, or you are not in the group itself, but you aspire, you wish to belong, to be in that particular group. A typical one is just like when you are the what they call it, hardcore fan of Manchester United or Liverpool, for example. Okay, so you aspires to be associated or belongs to that Liverpool fans, right? So what you do is that you will buy things that are Liverpool merchandise kind of thing, right? And you will also be influenced with whatever Liverpool is buying. If they use Nike, then you also might want to use Nike because it's Liverpool. I don't know, does Liverpool use Nike? Right? Or is it Adidas? Okay, so that is aspirational group that you wish to belongs to. Okay, and next one is the reference group. So reference groups are the group that form a comparison or reference in forming attitudes or your behavior. A reference group, okay, you can see that these are the people that gives word of mouth, all right, that influence and also boost the marketing. Because these are actually what they call people that you look up for, okay, or you will actually refers to always to these people because of their some character, from their charisma, okay, from their background or whatsoever, okay, which you normally call them your opinion leaders, right? Where these are people within a reference group who exert the social influence on the others. So they are also known as the influencers or leading adopters. All right. So you will see that these are normally become the brand ambassador like Shah Al Yahya, Kefazura, Siti Nohaliza. Okay, they are the brand ambassador of certain brand and also their own brand. All right. So they are the opinion leader, and people would like to refer to them, okay, and think that okay, Siti Nurhaliza wears Aryani shawl, for example. So you also want to be like Siti Nurhaliza, so you wear Aryani shawl because Siti Nurhaliza trusts in Aryani brand, for example. So that's Mira Filzah, is it? Is it Mira Filzah the name? I think so. Okay, all right. So that is actually groups. Okay. Next, you have the social networks. Okay, we're still in the social factor here. Under social network, of course, you know social network very well. Okay, where online social networks are online communities where people socialize or exchange information and also opinions. This includes the blogs. Nowadays, they don't have many blogs, but vlogs, right? The video logs, right, which you can normally watch on YouTube. All right, the social networking sites such as the Facebook, right, the Twitter, what is Instagram, right, Snapchat also, all right, and also some virtual worlds like Second Life, all right. So these are also community, okay, within your social network that also influence you because you are always exposed to this environment, all right, to this advertisement, to these products and so on. So you be able to actually watch or see what are the products that you think might be the one that you would like to buy or actually influence you to buy or not to buy. Next one, still under social factor, social roles. Okay, let me put myself this side. Now, social roles, when you talk about family, for example, family plays an important social roles to the children, yeah, to the family, each and every family members, especially the parents, right? Where you will, if you are the children or if you're a child, you are the daughter, you are the son, you will normally listen to what your parents says, okay, and you will be influenced with whatever that your parents buy for you, okay. These social roles and status are the groups, family, or even some clubs and organization that person belongs to that can define the role and also the social status. Okay, first let's look at the next one on personal factor. Okay, personal factor element of age and also life cycle. people will change, and goods and services they buy over their lifetime also will change. Okay, when you talk about your age, when you are kids, what are the things that you want to buy? And now, what are the things that you want to buy? Perhaps next 10 years, what are the things that you wanted to buy? It will be different in terms of the priority. Okay, the taste in goods, the foods, yeah? Taste in food. Last time you really like cheesecake, for example, but now you change your taste. You like, what they call it, Biscoff cakes or red velvet cakes, right? Clothes also change. Perhaps last time you like to wear sporty attires. Now you become more ladylike attires kind of thing. Okay, your furniture or even recreation are often age related. Okay, as you are younger, you like to go to theme park, you want to play roller coaster and so on. But as you age, okay, you don't want to go to theme park anymore. Perhaps you want to go sightseeing, watch the mountain, okay, go to Italy, or you go to the beaches, okay, Maldives and so on, all right? So buying is also shaped by the stage of the family life cycle. Okay, look at this picture, for example. First you started dating, so normally what are things that you normally buy are things for your what I call your dates lah, right? You go for dating, you go for movies, okay, and then after that you start to think of, okay, I should have to get married, so you buy things that are for your significant other, okay, as you get married, and then you have children, for example, then you start to buy things for your kids, all right, for their growth, for their education, all right, and then after that they are graduated, they become independent. Now it is left with two of you. Now you don't go dating that often. Perhaps you just spend time together at home, okay, or even travel together around the world and so on, all right. So that is what happened as you age, what it means by the family life cycle or stage, right? Next one, under personal factor, you have the occupation and also economic situation. Of course, occupation affects the goods and also services that you buy. Okay, if you work in the zoo, for example, things that you buy are typically for you to wear to work, okay, at the zoo. Unlike the lawyers, for example, so things that they buy when they want to go to work, to the court especially, they will typically go for white and also black because that's the color in the court. All right. If you are an accountant, you don't say that you buy calculator lah. All right. But let's say you are a policeman, for example. So police, if you want to go to work, you don't wear normal any attire, but you have to wear your uniform, right? So things that you buy are not towards the workforce or working attires, but perhaps something else. All right. And then doctors also like that. Perhaps, doctors typically they are very concerned with their health. So things that they purchase or buy are also health related. Okay. Next is the economic situation, where, of course, economic situation related to personal income, their savings, and also the interest rate in the market. Okay. Last one on the personal, I think this is last one, right? Oh no, the second last one. All right. The lifestyle. Okay, still under personal factor in lifestyle, it is a person's pattern of living as expressed in his or her psychographic. Okay, psychographic related to their economy and plus their demographic. Yeah. Now it is also something that people choose or are being brought into the lifestyle. The lifestyle that you choose that particular lifestyle, or you are being brought into that kind of lifestyle. Okay, it is a measure of consumers' AIOs, which is activities, interests, and also opinions, to capture information about a person's pattern of acting and interacting in the environment. How do you want to portray yourself? How you want to, not portray yourself, how you want to live yourself, all right? What type of activities that you always involved with? What are your interests? If you like jazz musical kind of thing, perhaps things that you like to buy are related to jazz music. Okay, you will watch the jazz musical festival, all right, anything related to jazz, all right. But if you are liking things like video games, for example, okay, video gamers, so that is your lifestyle. You are always exposed with a lot of video games and you like to play that video games, okay, so things that you are buying are also related to your video games. right? And many brands, okay, are always associated with this kind of lifestyle. And you know, Nike, you don't see Nike wearing, you don't wear Nike as a prom dress, for example. Okay, so you know Nike is a sports brand. Lifestyle, of course, people who love to do sports activities. Okay, and last one is the personality and self concept. So the personality refers to the unique psychological characteristics that lead to consistent and lasting responses to the consumer's environment. Okay, so personality are actually from your own self, yeah, personal. Okay, it is from yourself. Okay, so some people, they are dominant, some people are influential, some people are steady. Okay, while some people are compliant. This is you just your personality. Okay, of course it can change, right? So for a dominant person, perhaps things that they will buy are different. Okay, let's say you want a service, for example, a dominant person would like to have a service that is according to what they expect to achieve or to receive. Okay, while some people who are really steady, okay, they are more supportive, they are stable, okay, they are not really uh, demanding compared to the dominant people. Okay, for example, you want to buy food, then your food doesn't come with what you have ordered. Will you scold the waiter or not? Will you come again to that shop or not? Okay, so it is all because of your personality. Are you tolerant or not? Okay, are you impulsive? Some people who are very impulsive, they simply buy things because it is cheap, not because they want it, not even they need it. They buy things because it's cheap. So then it's normally people who are impulsive lah. Impulsive meaning you don't think much, you just buy. Alright, you don't do a lot of information search, you don't think about other things, you see it, you like it, you buy it, that's it. Alright, a compliant are very cautious. Okay, a compliant, the one, yeah, normally I think accounting student are very cautious, right? Because you are accounting student, you are calculating, you know, you are very careful. That's good, right? Yeah, but of course not everyone is compliant now, right? Some are dominant, influential, and some are very steady as well, right? So that is personality. It shapes what are the things that you wanted to buy because of yourself. Okay, so this is not related to anybody else but your own personality. Okay, perhaps some people say you are born with that personality, but actually you can learn to be other type of personality. Okay, and the last factor, okay, are the psychological factors. So psychological factors include motivation, perception, learning, beliefs, and attitude. So this is psychological, which is in your mind. The personal factors just now more towards your attitude, your inner self, and how you behave, okay, your lifestyle kind of thing. That is personal. While psychological are typically because of what you think, your mind. Okay, first look at the motivation. So a motive is a need that is sufficiently pressing to direct the person to seek for satisfaction. So what motivates you, okay? Where you wanted to buy things or you don't want to buy that because you don't have motivation to buy, all right? Or you feel motivated to buy because of what? Okay, because of something that is pressing you to seek for that satisfaction. So that's why there are a lot of motivation research done, all right, to understand people's motivation, especially what motivate people to buy things, all right, and which this refers to the qualitative research designed to probe consumers' hidden subconscious motivation. So the very popular, okay, motivation theory is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow is a person, yeah? Abraham Maslow is the person, the researcher that actually created this particular theory. So he called it his theory lah, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So to make you understand, according to Maslow, all right, every human being has these 5 needs, which it needs to be fulfilled from the bottom of this pyramid. Okay, everybody needs to fulfill physiological needs first, then it will move up to the safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. right? So everybody will start to buy things that are for their survival. The physiological needs are survival needs. Okay, for you to eat, for you to stay a place, a home, right? For you to wear your clothes to keep you warm and also survive in the winter, whatever weather it is, right? For you to drink, of course, other than that, the oxygen also important. Okay, there is physiological needs. Then, if you can sustain or you can survive and buy everything in these physiological needs, you will move on to fulfill your motivation to buy the safety needs. Okay, the safety needs here includes security. Okay, so you need an alarm system, for example, in your house so that you feel safe. Okay, you need protection. All right, you need vaccines. Okay, vaccines because of COVID-19, you need that. All right, that is for considered as your safety needs. Okay, other than you need food, drinks. Okay, now you can buy all the food, you can have all the drinks, but food and drinks will not avoid you from getting COVID-19. So what can protect you from COVID-19? The safety needs, which is the vaccine, for example. Okay, then um assuming that you can have that vaccine soon, all right, then you already fulfill that, or you are already vaccinated with that particular COVID-19 virus vaccine. So next you will start to find the social needs, which social needs related to the sense of belonging, to have friends, to be in a community, to be accepted by other people, to love and to be loved. That is social needs. And if you can fulfill this later on, you will move to the esteem needs. Esteem needs is whereby no longer about materials all the time, right? It is about self-esteem. It's about recognition and also status. Okay. And lastly, everybody also will want to have this self-actualization needs, which the needs for self-development and realization. Typically, the self-actualization needs are the needs associated with the spiritual desires, spiritual needs. Okay, whereby you want to be near to the God, you want to feel that you have accomplished everything. Okay, you already fulfill all of these four needs below the pyramid, and this is when you think that you need to give back to the community, to the society. Okay, normally if you are in the T20, then you need this one. All right. Well, some will also still need this. You want people to recognize you. You want your status. All right. Brand recognition, perhaps. Okay. So these are the needs. But typically, what we normally need are the first three bottom here. We need the physiological needs. Okay. Things that we buy typically for us to survive in the world, for our safety, and also for us to be in the social needs. Social needs also include like when you want to go out with friends, right? You must have money, right? You know, okay? Because when you go out with your friends, typically your friends will say, "Let's go eat KFC," for example. After eat KFC, you want to play bowling. You need money to play bowling, right? Or if you don't follow your friend to play bowling because you don't have money, then you'll be left out. Okay? Or after that, you want to watch movie. So you need money also to buy movie ticket, popcorn, and drinks also, isn't it? So in order for you to before you are able to fulfill this, all right, typically all of these particular needs requires money, just that the amount are different. Okay, so if you have all the money, then you'll be able to actually choose which one that motivate you the most. Okay, some people they don't need to be having a lot of friends. Okay, just a few will be enough. So that is when the social needs are not that much. Okay, but some people they want to have a lot of friends. Okay, so that is when they want to be in the crowd all the time, but just stay at home. Okay, because COVID-19 is serious, right? Don't go out, stay home, be safe. All right, now the last part of this chapter is the psychological element is perception. Okay, which is the process by which people select, organize, and interpret information to form a meaningful picture of the world from three perceptual processes, which is selective attention, selective distortion, and selective retention. So you know, perception is you perceive something, okay? You perceive things which perhaps it is not based on real theory, okay? It is just a perception, okay? Sometimes perception could be wrong, right? So there are three, okay? Three what they call that, perceptual processes, which the first one is selective attention. Just now, like I told you, selective attention is the tendency for people to screen out most of the information to which they are exposed. Selective attention means you want to screen out whatever that information you are being exposed to. You want to ignore that, screen out, selective attention, okay? While selective distortion is the tendency for people to interpret information in the way that they will support what they already believe, okay? Selective attention just now, let's say you are Manchester United fan, so whatever about Liverpool that is being exposed to you, you don't want to listen, okay? While we talk about selective distortion, whatever information about Manchester United, because you are a fan of Man U, right? Whatever about Man U, you will actually absorb. No matter how bad they talk about Manchester United, you will still believe in Manchester United, okay? While selective retention is the tendency to remember good points made about a brand that they favor and forget good points about competing brands. You are an Apple user, for example, so whatever Apple produce, you will always remember how good, how highest quality phone ever that you can get is only from iPhone, which you forget, totally put it away, whatever good things about Samsung or Huawei, okay? So that is selective retention, right? And then you have learning. Oh, there's one more, learning, okay? Learning is the change in an individual's behavior arising from the experience and occurs through interplay of drive, stimuli, reinforcement, cues, and responses, okay? So the drive, of course, is from the motivation, yeah? Where when you learn something, okay, you learn something, there is a drive, which is a strong internal stimulus that calls for action, okay? And the drive will become a motive when it is directed toward a particular stimulus. Is it an object, okay, or it is due to some reinforcement, all right? And then you have the cue, which are minor stimuli that determine when, where, and how a person will respond. So in learning, right, you are talking about you learn from your experience, okay, from your experience about a product. At first you think that you want to buy it, okay, you try, okay, there is a stimulus that calls for action. I just have to try it. For example, let's say McDonald's just launched their sea salt McFlurry, right? Have you tried? So you learn that McDonald's has that new ice cream, okay? So there's a drive for you to try it, okay? You have the motive, so you have that stimulus towards buying that McFlurry sea salt, okay? Or you might not know about it, but because of some reinforcement, like you will always see on your news feed about McFlurry sea salt, McFlurry sea salt, McFlurry sea salt, keep on showing, pop up from your phone screen, okay? So that is because of some reinforcement. So you learn there is something offered, something new offered by McDonald's, okay? So the cue is that the stimuli that determine when and where and how you will actually respond. So as let's say after this you pass by McDonald's, so there's a cue for me to actually buy the McFlurry and try it. Okay, the response is when you actually try the ice cream, whether you like it or not. Okay, there is a response. Then it will actually leads to the learning, whereby do you learn that it is actually a nice ice cream, or you learn that it is not a nice ice cream. That will actually leads to the next one, the drive, whether if it is nice, you might want to buy again. If it's not nice to you, then you don't want to buy anymore in the future. Okay? You should try, by the way. It tastes like you know the fries, McDonald's fries, you dip into the vanilla ice cream. That's the taste of the sea salt ice cream, right? And then you have beliefs. Okay, beliefs under these factors of psychological also, which is a descriptive thought that a person has about something based on their knowledge, opinion, and also the faith. Belief is more, yeah, it's about your faith. It comes from your faith first lah. Alright. Other than that, because of your opinion, you believe it is like that. Okay. And of course, it is strengthened by your knowledge. If you learn about it, okay, you know about it, you read about it, then you are able to understand everything. So that is when you have the knowledge. Right. And then you have the attitudes. Attitudes is simple. Describes a person relatively consistent evaluation, feeling, and also the tendency toward an object or an idea. What is your attitude towards some brand, the product especially? So the iPhone users, for example, they have an attitude toward Apple products. Okay, whatever Apple produce, whatever related to iPhone or Apple, they will have the positive attitudes toward this and negative attitudes toward other brands. All right. So with that, we finish chapter 3 altogether. And if you have any questions, please ask me in our Telegram chat. Okay, so that I'll be able to explain further to you on any part that you are not clear with. Okay. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.